I am going to attempt with this video to do a very fast 5-minute portrait walkthrough. See if I can do a quick version of a full start to finish walkthrough. So, with my usual process, this is a portrait side profile. I start with an underpainting. As usual, this is a thin down with linseed oil, mix of various browns, a little red, a little cadmium, or not cadmium, yellow ochre, to try to get a good mid underpainting tone. So thin down with linseed oil, kind of get the basic outline. I use this as the structure for starting to block in colors with regular, just out of the tube oil paint after this. So often after I'm finished with the underpainting, I don't always follow the same approach with where I start, but with this one, I started with kind of the darker hues, the darker values, with some raw umber, just again straight out of the tube, no paint thinner or anything, trying to catch those darker values, again working within the structure of the underpainting that I laid down. The next piece to this, I put in some raw sienna, mixed with a little bit of cadmium red to try to bring out a little more of the red tones here. And then I started blending it more towards the yellow ochre side, trying to jump back and forth between some lighter values and some darker values. Again, this is not always the approach that I take. Sometimes instead of starting with the dark, sometimes I start with the light. I don't know. It depends on the subject, and it probably depends on what mood I'm in too. I might go different directions in that sense. So here I'm also kind of highlighting some additional yellow ochre spots. With this particular portrait, one of the challenges was trying to highlight and bring out where light was reflecting on the side of the subject's face. This is something that I find challenging, and I'm not always able to get it to a very successful degree. Light is kind of hard, and I do still struggle with really emphasizing lighter portions, just because I have a tendency, I've mentioned in some other videos, that I try to fight the instinct to blend paint on the painting surface, on the paper. I try to keep discrete zones of color, because when I mix it too much, I start to turn things muddy. And when I get into those muddy sort of messes, that's when I lose that ability to reflect light or to get those much lighter areas. In this painting, I was successful. I was actually able to maintain the brighter spots that I was going for. So at this point in the painting, you see I've added a little background. With this one, it was a very fast piece. I think I did this one in maybe an hour and a half or so, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. It didn't feel like one that I wanted to do an elaborate. I've been doing a lot of nature background scenery. This one was not one that I wanted to do that with, so I just kind of went for a nice, this partially inspired by my family. They love purple, so I thought, hey, let's put some purple in here. So this one, I just kind of did a basic background. I've mentioned before also that usually with backgrounds, I like to wait till the middle of the portrait or maybe the back half of the portrait to add backgrounds, just because I want to add the final detail at the very end, and I want to be able to kind of touch that right onto the background. So that is also what I did here. Overall, that is kind of my painting process, or at least the 5-minute version. If you liked this type of video, but you want something a little longer, I also have a 10-minute and a 15-minute walkthrough of start to finish painting. I would like also to do some longer ones, maybe 20, 25 minutes. We'll see if there's a want or a need. As you can see on this one, now I'm just kind of adding some finishing touches, touching off some detail, usually the last step for me. So anyways, thank you for watching this walkthrough video. I appreciate it. We'll see you for the next one.